Okay. So, welcome to the 2019-2020 Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship Training for District 11. We will be hosting two trainings, one right now at noon and then another one this evening at 6:30. Our hope is that we can capture everybody that wants to apply for a scholarship and explain the new process to you because it is going to be a little bit different this year. And so we want to make sure that everybody has all the information that they need ahead of time. And so as we go through today, I'm going to cover each part of the scholarship process, and then I'm also going to cover the types of the scholarships and then some tips and tricks to help you as you move through applying for the scholarship process or for these scholarships. So our scholarship program is overseen by the Texas 4-H Youth Development Foundation. Estimated annually, we give out $2.5 million at Texas 4-H Roundup every year. Last year, we gave out 225 scholarships, or right at 220, excuse me. This year, we're estimating 225. The difference is, and I have to explain this, is that even though we ask for financial need information, this is a largely academic scholarship. And you'll see that when I show you the scoring rubric in some future slides. And so the scholarships are based on academic record, 4-H experience, and then financial need only from some donors, not from all donors. We had some pretty big program changes this year. As in last year, members receiving a Terry Scholarship are not eligible to receive a Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. Interviews for the scholarship, if the candidate is chosen, will be conducted in College Station April 24th through the 26th in 2020. It is a requirement that individuals participate there. This year, all applications will be submitted online. It's a little bit different. We aren't using 4-H Connect this year. We're using a little bit of a different platform, and I'll show you that in the upcoming slides. So we have 4 types of scholarships available. We have a baccalaureate scholarship for those attending a traditional 4-year university or pursuing a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. We have a technical scholarship for those students who will be pursuing an associate's degree or some sort of technical certification. We do have a collegiate scholarship available for former 4-H members who are currently enrolled in college. And then we also have our Courageous Heart Scholarship, which is available to our high school students who have overcome significant obstacles, whether it be a medical, family, or educational obstacle in their life. So some of our general requirements still have not changed. You have to be a current active 4-H member this year in at least 2 of the 3 previous years. You must be a United States citizen, you must be a Texas resident, and you must be scheduled to graduate from a Texas high school, public, private, or homeschool during 2019-2020. And you must have been accepted to a Texas college or university or technical school by the time of interview. That is extremely important. It seems like every year I encounter a youth who wants to go through our scholarship process, but then they decide to go to school out of state, and so that immediately makes them ineligible, according to our donors, for the Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. You must have completed and passed all necessary standardized tests required for graduation and entrance into a college or university, and then you must submit a 2020 scholarship application. Required supplemental documents must be submitted at the time of submission. We will not accept any FAFSA scores, SAT scores, or Courageous Heart letters, or a transcript after the application deadline. Once it's submitted, there are no updates. So in years past, we've been able to I've been able to get the applications here at the district office and review them and get some updates if I saw something wrong. This year, that is not allowed. I will not look at the applications at all. And so if you need some help with that, I encourage you to get that done early. If you want anybody to review your application. So to be eligible for a baccalaureate scholarship, you have to have at least an ACT score of a 19 or an SAT score of a 950. The scores must come from a single testing date, and you will submit your highest score documentation. Once the application deadline passes, we are not allowed to update or accept any other test scores. You must be in the upper one-half based on scholastic rank for the first 3.5 years. Some scholarships will require that they be in the top quarter. This is incredibly important because if you attend a school that does not rank, we need to get that figured out now and not at the time of the application or when you're trying to submit your application. And so we do have a few schools in the district that I'm aware of that do not rank their students. And so we really have to have that quartile ranking to be for a youth to be eligible for a Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. So just as an FYI, if you receive more than $90,000 total in financial aid or any other scholarships, you will not be eligible for a Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Scholarship. However, you will be eligible for other scholarships. And so our scholarship is a whole bunch of donors coming together, and we basically manage the entire scholarship program for a whole bunch of donors. So our eligibility requirements are set forth by our donors. They are not set by the Texas 4-H Foundation or the Texas 4-H unit. They are set specifically by our donors, and we have to abide by what they want. So to be eligible for a technical scholarship, you must not have plans to continue formal education at a Texas college or university after the completion of your program. And so we're looking for things like welding certificate, or if you have somebody that is going to be go get a nursing degree, that's not a BSN or an MSN. We want those individuals who are pursuing a true technical certification to be eligible for a technical scholarship. To be eligible for a Courageous Heart, you do not have to meet the minimum SAT or ACT or GPA requirements, but you will not be considered for other Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarships. You must have written documentation of your obstacles and include 3 letters of recommendation. You have to write the additional Courageous Heart narrative, and the maximum value on this scholarship is $5,000. I want to stress the importance of what this scholarship is designed for. It's designed for those individuals who, for one reason or another, have really overcome some obstacles, and they just have not been able to meet our GPA or SAT requirements. It is not for those individuals who really don't have any significant obstacle or anything like that, but we really want those kids who really have a desire and a need to submit for the Courageous Heart Scholarship. I would encourage you, before you submit for the Courageous Heart Scholarship, to visit with your county extension agent, and they can help you make the best decision for that. So to be eligible for a collegiate scholarship, you must be a United States citizen and a Texas resident. You must have been an active member in 4-H here in Texas and attending a Texas college or university. You have to be a high school graduate for at least 1 year prior to the award and have completed 30 hours of undergraduate work. And then also maintain a 2.7 cumulative GPA at the time of application. So some changes for 2020 in the application process is what I'm going to cover next. All applications will be submitted through the Foundation portal, and I'll show you where to find those on our website here shortly. But you can go through the Texas 4-H Foundation website. And then from there, you will select your scholarship type and apply specifically for that specific scholarship. You will download, you can download a list of questions and complete your answers in Word, but all questions, but all answers must be copied into the online application either through upload or in the application text boxes. And we'll show you, I have some screenshots available, so we'll show you that here in a minute. And then there's samples given under each list type. Applications and instructions are available on the from your county extension agent or through the Texas 4-H Foundation office. So it would be incredibly helpful if you gathered this information before you started the application. You'll need your 4-H record books, your participant information to help complete the 4-H project experiences and leadership experiences and community service experiences portions of the application. I would encourage you to look through the application guidelines and those examples. You'll need an official high school transcript with the original signature from a counselor or principal. And then you'll also need your official SAT or ACT scores. They may be listed on the transcript. You'll just have to upload that portion of the scores into that box. And then you will have to have your FAFSA student aid report. So I can't express how incredibly important it is to do your FAFSA report before December 15th. I don't know the official cutoff date this year, but you have to do it before the end of the year. Otherwise, it's going to make you wait for next year's income tax filings, and then you won't get a student aid report, and it will automatically deem you ineligible for the Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship. We must have the entire report. The report averages from 5 pages to 8 pages, and so you will upload, it's a downloadable PDF document from the FAFSA website. And so you will save that document and upload it into the scholarship portal. So this is a graphic that explains the process for us. We've released our scholarship application to the 4-H members. So now we're in the application submission phase. The deadline for application submission is February 14th, 2020. After that, we'll go through the verification and certification and the judging of applications. Sometime around mid-April, you will be notified of interview selection. We'll move through the interviews at the end of April, and then sometime in May, you'll be notified of scholar selection. Just because a child receives an interview does not mean that they are guaranteed a scholarship. And we discuss that because I think some people think that just because they've received an interview that it immediately means that they're going to get something. And that's not the case. And so we just want to make sure that we are very clear about that as we move forward. Once we do the notification of selection, it is a mandatory requirement that you be at Texas 4-H Roundup to be present for the scholarship banquet. So if you have an issue, I know in the past we've had some youth who have senior trips or things like that. There are no exceptions. And so if you cannot be there, you need to make a decision and really just make a choice as to what as to what path you want to go down. And so then from there, you'll be working with the Texas 4-H Foundation office for donor verification, and then the submission of your contracts and thank you notes. And then the Texas 4-H Foundation office will make payment directly to the college or university indicated on the application. This is our scoring rubric, and so you can see here for the baccalaureate scholarship, 50% of the entire scholarship is judged based on the narratives and 4-H project experiences. And so I can't tell you and stress enough that those narratives are a judge's window to get a glimpse of the child and the youth, and to kind of really see who they are. And so I really encourage you to make sure that you spend a significant amount of time on your 3 narratives. You have a personal narrative, a career narrative, and a financial narrative. And I'll dive into those a little bit more in the upcoming slides. You'll see here that grades account for 28%. And so 78% of the entire scholarship for a baccalaureate is based on academics and 4-H experiences. And then you have 12% based on financial needs and 10% based on the interview. So you'll see for a technical scholarship, we've removed that 23% from the SAT or ACT score and kind of moved that up, if you will, into the 4-H experiences and narrative. And then everything else has remained the same. And then for a Courageous Heart, we've kind of spread it out just a little bit more. And so 25% of the application is based on the narrative, the Courageous Heart narrative, and 38% is based on 4-H experiences and those narratives. So we're going to cover the actual, diving into what the actual portal looks like. I know it's a little bit of a different process, but it's not. I've actually gotten into it and looked at it. It's really not that difficult to navigate. And so I do think that we are going to be much better off with this system once we get everybody kind of transitioned over. And so it's important that the email that you register with is the email you want to receive all communications through. They are not going to use an email that you won't have access to after you graduate. And so we really encourage those kids not to use any high school-based emails or anything like that. All contact information should be the applicant's information and not the information of the parent or guardian. I know we want to help our kids, and we certainly want to help them succeed, but moving forward, we work to communicate directly with the applicant. So this is a screenshot of what it looks like on the Texas 4-H Foundation website, and so you'll see that big green Apply Here button underneath it. Or that green text is live links for the guidelines, how to apply, FAQs, and so I would encourage you to look at all of those before you move forward into actually applying for a scholarship. So you'll log in and create a new account with the email address and password, and so it'll ask for some basic identifying information. You'll click Apply. This is a screenshot of what it looks like, but basically we have baccalaureate scholarships in a box, and there's a blue Apply button at the top right-hand corner. Underneath that, we have the technical scholarship, the collegiate scholarship, and the Courageous Heart scholarship. So Fax to file allows you to convert your documents from hard copy format to digital by fax. And so these are some instructions that you can use. You can also contact your county extension agent. They have scanners in their office to scan documents into PDF. And so I would encourage you to use your resources at your county extension office if you're having some difficulty converting documents to a PDF. But those documents will need to be in PDF format for them to be uploaded into the portal. So this Collaborate tool allows you to invite anyone using their email address to view and edit your application. If you wish for your county extension agent to collaborate on it, or anybody, myself, whatever you like, you want to add us, or those individuals as collaborators, and that's where you do that right there. That will be the only way that your county extension agent or myself could review your scholarship application, unless you email us the documents beforehand. But I will tell you that I do not want FAFSA documents emailed to me or transcripts emailed to me. A lot of times they have social security numbers on them, and our email server will immediately block them, and I can't receive them. So we're going to dive into the individual sections of the application right now. And so section 1 is just some personal information, some identifiers there, some of those basic qualifiers that we discussed earlier, and that's what this screen looks like. Sorry, I jumped forward. So the applicant unique identifier, there is a format that they are requesting. And so please make sure that you are using that identifier in the format that they have on there. That's how they will kind of identify all of our applicants past the submission phase. And so judges will not see names; they will only see identifiers. So section 1B is demographics, and so we want to know gender, race, ethnicity, and your home or residence, and that information there. Section 1C is maybe some information that you will you'll need to kind of work with your county extension agent if you have any questions. The new thing that has actually been just released as of, I want to say, Thursday of last week, is this county extension verification page. There's a page that you will have to download, your county extension agent will fill out, and then you will upload that into the portal. And so at the very bottom here of the screen, you'll see the CEA verification form, and there's an upload box there. So you'll have to put in all of their information and then upload that verification form. Section 2 is the college or university information. The biggest change here is that we no longer ask for career choice. And so we really just want to know in priority order what college or university they're going to and what major and department they are selecting. And so you'll see here that you have your first choice and your second choice listed here. Section 3 is livestock show participation. If you have not participated in the Fort Worth Livestock Show and rodeo or don't plan to, please answer that question. And then if you are planning to be a school tour guide this year, please answer those questions. These questions are required and you will not be able to move forward until you fill those out. That's incredibly important. That is some very donor-specific information that we need to be able to kind of sort through some additional scholarships. So section 4 is the individual scholastic record. We ask for the expected date of graduation, the official upload of the official high school transcript, and the SAT and ACT scores must be entered, excluding technical and courageous hearts. And so we want to make sure that you have to enter a score, but you must report, the uploaded report must be the scores that you put in the box. That's what this looks like right here. So you'll see there's upload buttons underneath each one of those. And working through that. On the high school transcript, before you upload it, please make sure that the GPA is unweighted and on a 100-point scale. That has not changed, and inevitably we get a couple every year that are either on a 4.0 or a 5.0 or a weighted scale. It has to be unweighted on a 100-point scale. So this is where we will get verification from the school counselor and GPA verification. So you will need the counselor's email or the registrar's email, whoever is in charge of reporting grades at the high school. And basically you put in the email address, and then you click the compose email button, and then it'll help you kind of walk through that process. So it'll email them, and then if they don't respond within a week, the system's already designed to send them another email. So I would encourage you, once that happens, once you submit that application after February 14th, it would be in the best interest of the child to make contact with their counselor, just to give them a heads up, like, hey, this is coming. Please make sure that you answer this or respond to this for me, etc. So this is what the school administrator will be asked. This is what the form will look like. It'll ask for their name of high school, their funding classification, quartile, high school GPA, if you pass the standardized test, the administrator name, title, phone number, email address, and then a certification box there at the bottom. The applicant can log in and see the request there. And so you'll be able to see when they've done it or if they've done it, those kinds of things, and move forward through that process. So section 6 is the financial information. This section will include the upload for the FAFSA student aid report document and the financial needs narrative. We are looking for an EFC number at the top of the SAR report. It does take 3 to 4 weeks for processing, so I would encourage you to do this ASAP if it's not already been done. And then this will also help them see if they're eligible for other forms of financial aid, grants, loans, etc. And the official website is fafsa.ed.gov. So there is a Texas 4-H publication about the FAFSA document and details on that application. Again, you will have to submit the entire document to get the EFC number. This is an example of this is what an older one looks like. The digital ones are a little more updated, and there's a box at the top with that EFC number, but this is kind of what we're looking for. And they typically, like I said, they average from 5 to 8 pages, just depending on the information that you put in. So when you are writing your financial needs narrative, It's incredibly important to indicate why you need financial aid, but please do not start the narrative with "I deserve." So this narrative is separate from your FAFSA score, and so we want to make sure that you understand that you get points for the narrative separate from your FAFSA score. So this is what that portion of the screen looks like. I know we have screenshots on here, but honestly, when we go through this, you'll see here in a minute that it's really just all on one page. And so you will you'll put in the EFC score, you'll upload the SAR report, and then you will copy and paste the financial narrative into this document. So there's not really an official application, the forms aren't created. So basically what you're going to do is just write this stuff in blank Word documents and then copy and paste them into the portal for the narrative. So section 7 is experience owners and narratives. So here, we kind of made some changes within the past week, and so I want to kind of go through this. We were made aware that the text boxes did not allow for formatting, which a lot of us like tables for judges. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but from a judging perspective, obviously tables is easier to sort through information than it is like in paragraph form. And so there is character limits for the text boxes if that's what you choose to do, or you can upload a PDF into that box. So section 6 talks about project experiences, and I'll show you a screenshot in just a minute. We can list 4 projects through the applicant's 4-H career. I would personally include the 4 most involved projects. The application is for the entire 4-H career, not just this past year as it is in record books. So I really encourage you to think about what projects you want to include in your project experiences. So this is what it looks like. So here we go. You can put text into the narrative, into the text box if you choose, or at the bottom, you can put it in table format and upload a 1-page document. Again, it is limited to 1 page for the upload. And so they will only look at the first page. So if you go into 2 pages, it's not going to it won't be included or submitted. Section 7 is leadership experiences, and so we want you to list up your 25 most major 4-H leadership roles, include volunteer promotion and elected appointed leadership. We want to list roles and responsibilities, years, levels of involvement, and briefly describe why this information is important to you. So going back, the 4,500 character limit it's hard to say if it's going to cut you off. What we're saying is if you do the upload, you're limited to 1 page. And if you use the text box, you're limited to that 4,500 character limit. So, again, with leadership experiences, we want to put emphasis on the quality of the applicant's experiences as opposed to the quantity of those experiences. And so this is, again, what it looks like. You can choose to use the text box if you choose, or you can put it in a table format or in a different, in an upload and upload that document. So moving on, we'll talk about citizenship and community service. So we want to list your 15 most significant citizenship and community service projects, list those roles and responsibilities, describe the significance, and again, we want to put emphasis on the quality and not the quantity. So on the 4-H honors, we want you to list the 4 most major 4-H honors that the applicant has received in their 4-H career. I feel like I have to say this every year. The Gold Star Award, if you have received the Gold Star in your county, that is a state-level award. That is the highest award that you can receive in the 4-H program. And so I know that we distribute those and award those at the county level. However, it is a state-level award. I can't stress that enough. It seems like every year I still see applications that have the Gold Star listed as a county-level award, and it is not. And so I would encourage you to consider that if you have won, or if the applicant has won the Gold Star Award. So here's what the 4-H honors and citizenship and community service sections look like. You'll see here that there's a text box and then there's an upload button if you need that for both of those sections. So outside 4-H experience includes leadership, honors, school honors, work experience, volunteering outside of the 4-H club. Anything that you do with school, church, or other youth organizations will be included in this section. And again, you have a text box or a 1-page limit on that section. So section 7 also includes the personal narrative. Here you will type the narrative. You're limited to 3,500 characters. I would encourage you to type it in a Word document and make sure that you do not hit that 3,500 or that you don't go over that 3,500 character limit because it will stop you. There is no upload for this section, so you are required to copy and paste that into the text box. In your narrative, please do not put your name anywhere in your narrative. We don't want to have any identifiers in those documents, so that way they can be judged on an unbiased perspective. So section 7 is the career narrative. Let me back up real quick for the personal narrative. I would encourage you to think about something that makes you unique. And so something that is unique to you for your personal narrative. Remember, you have 3 narratives to write, and we don't want them to sound the same. And so please make sure that you are obviously being different, but at the same time, you're still being true to yourself. And so on that personal narrative, I'd talk about a 4-H experience or something that makes you unique. I remember one year we had an individual that was doing companion animals, and he raised llamas. And in his personal narrative, he talked about his llamas, and at the end he said, "Remember to ask me about my llama." Well, the judges got stuck with a lot of the judges, and they were able to identify him when he got to the interview portion because he actually had a shirt with a llama on it. It was kind of cute. But we want to make sure that you have something unique to the applicant. The career narrative, we want to hear what college visits you've done, if your 4-H career or how your 4-H career has led you to that specific career choice, and what that looks like. And then maybe like what your passion is or why you've chosen this career, but this is strictly based on the career choice of the applicant. Section 8 is the acknowledgement of integrity, participation, and certification section. By checking that box, you're saying that everything is true to the best of your knowledge. Please do not This is the part where we want to make sure that the transcripts and test scores are correct and they match what's being inputted, and they will match what your academic advisor or your counselor will say. And then we also, everything that you're putting into the application is true, and to the best of your knowledge. And so I will tell you that, of course, being a 4-H member, we always teach our youth to be of the utmost integrity, and so lies will catch up to you. And so it's incredibly important that everything you put in here, especially because sometimes we're going to put these youth in front of our donors, and so we want to make sure that they are absolutely putting their best foot forward. This is just a screenshot, and there's a small checkbox at the bottom, so you will have to check that. The Courageous Heart applicant information, you'll have to get those 3 letters of recommendation and provide those references, and then you'll copy and paste your Courageous Heart narrative into this box. And so you'll see reference 1, and then it goes down. So you'll have this repeated for 3 references: their first and last name, email, phone number, relationship, and then their letter of recommendation. So the application review and assistance, we want to kind of go over this. The agent will review or can review the application for correctness, quality, and completion, but it is up to the applicant and the responsibility of the applicant to contact the county extension agent. It is not the responsibility of our county extension agents to contact the applicant. I can't say that enough. This is 100% on the applicant. And so if you're requesting help, please make sure that you give them ample time. Calling them 24 hours on February 13th or February 12th is not sufficient, especially because so many of our county extension agents will be at major shows by then. So I would encourage you to work with them during the month of January, during the month of December, to really start getting this information put together. You have the ability to add your county extension agent as a collaborator. If you would like me to collaborate, I'm more than willing. Please just send me an email and let me know, so that way I can log in and look at that. And I can give you whatever information you need. That county extension agent verification form will need to be completed and submitted. And then the applicant will have to upload that with their application. So this is just a timeline of what things look like from now until January 2020, where we'll be hosting a series of scholarship trainings. I do not know, several of you have asked if there's going to be one in College Station. At this point, I've not been made aware of any training on behalf of the Collegiate 4-H group in College Station. The application is currently open. The deadline is February 14th. Tentatively, they will notify on or around that first week of April. Interviews will be the 24th through the 26th. Notifications will be kind of that first week of May. Tentatively, we're looking at May 4th. That could change depending on donor verification and those kinds of things. And then Texas 4-H Roundup is June 8th through the 11th in College Station. So just some tips to help you kind of get ready for it. We want to start early and make sure that they have taken their SAT and ACT scores already and that you have submitted your FAFSA. You need to gather all of your information before you start and read the instructions and directions thoroughly before you go through the actual application submitting things. Please, the best thing that I can recommend is really just start everything in Word documents and ask people to review your narratives. Ask your English teacher to review your narratives. Ask individuals that you respect, that know you, your 4-H leaders, to review your entire application. You must complete all sections. If it's not applicable, you're going to get a 0 score for that section. And so really and truthfully, more than anything, we want to emphasize quality over quantity. And so especially if you have some state level experiences and those kinds of things, we want to make sure that we emphasize the quality of that experience as opposed to the quantity or the number of experiences. So this is a competitive academic scholarship process. Very, very few of our donors actually put any weight on the financial needs. So large in part, this is based on your 4-H experiences and your grades and your test scores. The applicant pool changes every single year. So just because something worked last year doesn't mean it's going to work this year. And so just keep that in mind. You are competing with the best of the best. And I can tell you, we probably review right at 350, almost 400 applications, and they will only call, about 230, maybe 240 applicants in for an interview. And so please make sure that you have your application reviewed and understand that the judging panel changes every single year. It is never the same. And so just understand that and accept that. And if we can help in any way, please feel free to reach out to your county extension agent. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. Before you reach out to me, though, I do ask that you contact your county extension agent and let them know that you've asked me for help. That's just a courtesy. I will do the same. I will tell them that I am assisting your child or the applicant or you with this scholarship process. So there are no quotas. I can tell you each year, though, District 11 submits somewhere between 50 and 60 applications, and we get somewhere between 20 to 30 interviews. That's just a guide. It's not, we have no quotas. That's just kind of been a feather in our cap. We're pretty proud of our kids here in District 11, and we know that we have really great kids in our district that are more than eligible. Fort Worth is the only stock show that requires participation in their show to receive their scholarship. And then your academic, please make sure that your high school proficiency has been met and your college entrance exams have been taken early and you have the best scores to submit possible. So applicants receive a total application score, then there's scores. Just to to understand the process. So every applicant is scored on the entire scholarship, and then they are sorted highest to lowest. It's a giant spreadsheet. I've seen it. And then we match them with the maximum dollar amount in which the applicant qualifies. Again, please do not lie to get a scholarship. Inevitably, it will come up, and somebody will catch you in that lie, and then the scholarship will be taken away. So narratives that have been written once are rarely effective. Computer problems happen all the time. So please make sure that you plan and manage your time appropriately. And then also your high school counselors need time to get your transcript. And so the transcript has to be through the end of the first semester. We cannot accept transcripts that are not through the end of the first semester. We have to have those semester grades. So please make sure that you have that information readily available. So the best thing I can tell you is to start early and edit as often as you can to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. So these are just some basic questions you need to ask yourself before you kind of embark on this process. Do you meet the basic qualifying criteria? I'm going to be really honest with you. We make no exceptions when it comes to test scores or academic eligibility. If you don't meet the basic criteria, there's no wait list or anything like that. Have you told your story? Did somebody check your spelling and your grammar? Did you complete the SAR report and submit the entire report? And then did you identify with the correct application or the correct scholarship type? So